Another day, another video where your self-appointed online best friend is chatting with you about topics that she's going through because there is no way that I'm experiencing these thoughts and these things and someone out there isn't also. I've heard mention that these past weeks there's been a lot going on astrologically, and I don't know if you guys believe in that stuff, but all I'm gonna say is I feel like whatever I'm going through has been amplified tenfold the past couple weeks. So it kind of gives me a good reason. And so it kind of gives me like a good reason to blame something. But today I wanted to talk a lot about confidence because one, I've been struggling with it. And two, I get a lot of DMs on my other social media platforms asking, how are you so confident? What have you done to build your confidence? I literally threw an event called Community in Confidence, where we celebrated finding our community through our journey to confidence. And now that's evolved into a newly launched Patreon. So I am in no way the queen of confidence. What I will say I am the queen of is being very transparent with you with where I am on my confidence journey. And I think it's really normal for there to be really high highs and really low lows. I feel like as women, we're going through so much already, right? One, our cycle and our hormones. I'm currently on my luteal phase, so all this stuff happening right now and all these like life things that are stressing me out, believe me, I'm sure they're amplified because my hormones are going crazy. Not only that, but I feel like we are so susceptible to being influenced by the media and just like whoever is up there in charge of like what ideal beauty standards are and what we're pushing and all this stuff. Like I feel like we are so susceptible to being targets with that stuff that like, yeah, we are going to have fluctuations and de-acceleration. I don't know, what's the opposite of fluctuation? Whatever. We're going to go down. Our confidence is going to go down. I think it's important for us to kind of like note certain things and note when maybe the influences are the reason we're feeling that way and maybe real thoughts are, you get what I'm saying? We have to be able to discern what is real and what is not and why is this affecting me. There is no better time than now to tell you guys about how I deal with confidence lows and how I build myself back up again and do it over and over and over again, because this stuff is cyclical. And if you are someone that is able to kind of keep your confidence on a maximum forever, I worship you. You are an anomaly and I bow to you. Tell me your secrets. As someone who has always been chubby when younger or curvier now, I think the easiest thing we can talk about when it comes to confidence is body image. Our confidence is affected by so many different things, right? It's affected with our body image. It's affected by our internalization of what success looks like. It's affected, like, there's so many things, right? So first of all, let's talk about body image. I have struggled with my body image my entire life. I was bullied for being big in elementary school. Like, I really never was taught or shown how to love my body, right? And I say that because I was always like the bigger cousin. I was always the bigger sister. I remember, and if my mom ever sees this, I'm sure she will deny that this happened, but I kid you not. There was a point in 8th grade, I want to say, where like I was kind of feeling open to moving on from the tankini. I'm sure if you grew up a little chubby, you had a tankini or a one piece, but you never had a bikini. And I remember feeling a little bit better in my body for like a second, where I saw that like maybe I could try and get a bikini. Like the summer was coming up, my mom was like shopping for swimsuits for us and stuff like that. And I remember asking her, and I kid you not, I think she mentioned something along the lines of like, I needed to continue to like lose weight, and when I felt good about it, like we can get me one. And I internalized that as like, I have to be skinnier to get this. So that was kind of like the beginning of like really controlling my eating habits and my portions in an unhealthy way. Okay, unhealthy way. And it really like sucked, right? Because one, I was struggling with the fact that like I was not represented in any way on, I mean, social media wasn't a thing then. So like I wasn't represented in things like magazines or shows or anything like that because all these celebrities that I was seeing were so small. Literally, Google Ashley Graham when she first came out as a plus size model. She was probably skinnier than I am in this right now. That was what the media and what society allowed to be considered plus size. Anything bigger than that was like not okay. That was like my first kind of like really being like, ugh, like I don't love myself. I don't feel good in my body, whatever. And then I think on top of that, like I've always been curvy. And this might just be my dad being a dad thing and just like the way men were thinking as they were raising daughters back then. But like, I have a butt. I've always had a butt. I've had thick thighs and a butt my whole life. Every woman in my family has thick thighs and a butt, right? I'm pretty sure that's the reason he liked my mom. Just saying. And I remember if I would wear shorts, it was very common for normal shorts, not even short shorts, normal shorts to seem extra short on me. And I've had so many instances where my dad would comment on the length of my shorts, like, why are you wearing that? Those are too short. Like, you cannot be showing your body that way, like all this stuff. But then like my sister, who is smaller and younger and is more fit, never has received those comments. Even to the point that this day I feel weird wearing very short shorts around my dad. Like I won't. You know what I mean? And it's because I had him commenting on like how it was inappropriate, right? Where like that was just my body. I couldn't help my body. And as I was going through puberty, you know what I mean? So the reason I'm even saying all this is because I'm sure many of us had that universal experience. Whether we realize it or not, we were trained to compare ourselves and to feel like we weren't worthy of feeling beautiful, and we weren't beautiful if we didn't fit the specific mold that the world was pushing to us at that time. And the way I say things are cyclical is because like early 2000s was so very much like heroin chic. That's what it was called in the fashion world, like super 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 skinny. And I feel like that's kind of happening again. And I get trends cycle through, but I feel like we as a society have to work on stopping the trend cycle for things that aren't healthy. And that should be the way our bodies look. As someone who has been older, right? I turn 29 next month. So as someone who has lived through the very skinny times, through like the full of what the curvy body positivity movement was, and like you were seeing all these like plus size influencers and plus size models be celebrated and desired by brands and things like that, to now where it's like very much like trad wife, be a hot skinny mom culture. It's important to learn how to navigate through these things without having your confidence in yourself be compromised. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I'm still reading Let Them by Mel Robbins. I know I've been reading pretty slow. Truthfully, I've been going through it mentally. Life has really given me a lot of ups and downs and financial trauma. I feel I feel like I'm going through trauma with my finances right now. But one topic that I was just reading on was comparison and how we can use that to kind of like better ourselves instead of letting it allow us to crumble. And it made me think about just how comparison has been such a reason that I've struggled with confidence. And like, what can I do to not allow that to happen again? And in the book, she touches on how comparison can be used for like success and giving you the formula of what you need to do and things like that. And I think that's useful. But when I'm talking about comparison in like bodies and things like that, and kind of like what makes you feel beautiful, I think we all really have to learn how to drown out the noise. And how can we focus on the content we are consuming and making sure it doesn't make us feel bad? And this is something I talked about with my husband Sean many months ago, because it's interesting the content that gets fed to men versus women, right? Him as a man, a lot of it is like financial stuff. And so he was struggling with confidence when it came to our family finances and what he was able to provide, because he was seeing these people online showing like Porsches and giant houses and all this stuff. And I think we all have to just, as a collective, right? I know this channel's for the girls, but like as a collective, we have to remind ourselves that social media is just a highlight reel. No one hardly puts themselves on social media when they are feeling their worst or when they are going through their worst, tough times and all this stuff. I kind of do, because I'm a yapper and I need you guys to know what's going on, but most people do not. And no one is perfect. And if we can remind ourselves, right, from a confidence level, and this is what I do. One, to help my confidence, I don't follow anyone that makes me feel bad. Okay? You would be probably shocked with how many accounts I have muted. And that is solely because if there is anyone that makes me feel like I should feel bad about myself, or any content that triggers me to feeling like I am not beautiful enough, I'm not worthy enough, I don't have enough money, all this stuff, why am I following them? Why am I consuming that content? I think it's important to realize how social media is affecting all of us mentally. And as a result, we need to really zero in on what we want to be consuming, because at the end of the day, we control the algorithm does not control us. As you're scrolling next time, really pay attention to, like, as I'm seeing this, what is this inspiring me? Does this make me feel good? Does this make me feel represented? And if it doesn't, if you actually feel opposite negative emotions, that account is not worth seeing and it's not worth following. If there is one thing that I've noticed helps my confidence, is seeing things that I can relate to, because it normalizes my experience. And that could be as simple as someone with my body type wearing hot outfits. I'm like, I could do that. I see myself. That looks good. That invokes inspiration. It helps you just feel better. The social media stuff really has helped my body image issues, and I really think it would be useful to all of you guys to reflect as you scroll and like make those steps to only seeing and watching content that makes you feel good, because that, ever since I started doing that, I really have not struggled with confidence issues, because the way you should feel confident is knowing, one, you're healthy, knowing, two, you take care of your body. I work out, I do what I do because I want to feel good. I want to feel strong and all these things. If I can do that and not ever reach a size 4, I'm genuinely okay with it. You know what I mean? One thing that I've started doing is running more. And I know everybody's running, okay? I see it on social media. Everyone is running. And if running isn't your thing, that's okay. But I started doing it, and I do 2-mile runs, and it feels phenomenal. Why? Because I know a couple years ago, I barely could run a mile. You know what I mean? And now I'm like, I'm well on my way to running a 5K, and that feels cool. Not because I want to run like everybody else, but because I like to feel strong and I like to feel capable. And there's been so many times in my life where I didn't feel like I was in control of something. And this is something I can control. I can control my health. I can make sure that I am the best version of myself for when I do want to have kids, for when I can move forward in my life. And that is something that makes me feel good. I know there's all these scientific things of what like working out does to your brain. I'm not even talking about those, all right? I'm not a science girl. If you want to look those up, I'm sure there's someone that can help explain that to you too. But all I'm saying is confidence, taking care of myself, limiting what I'm seeing online helps with my confidence. I hope that made sense, because now I'm thinking back to what I just said and I don't know if it did. But if we're going to talk about what I've really been struggling with this week and last week, I touched on it. It's been finances, right? Feeling really not confident with where I am in life, and kind of the finances that I have as a result. And I'm going to try not to cry because, like I said, this wound is very fresh. I was crying all day yesterday. I was crying all day the day before, just because I was so overwhelmed. And like I said, some people online don't always show you when they're at their lowest with something with their confidence, because they only like to show their best. I bought this house, I bought this car, I bought all these clothes, let's do a haul, like all this stuff. That's not me. I will always show up as I am and as I'm doing right now. To be fully transparent with you guys, being a content creator, influencer, whatever you feel comfortable calling it, is really fun. It's exciting. It brings a lot of different opportunities. And for that, I'm forever grateful, right? But one thing it does not bring, and I literally am I have yet to meet a content creator. And if there are, I'm sure there are some that are like regular, like can like lock brand deals in month after month. That's not me, and that's not a lot of people. So I have gone months without being offered a brand deal. And brand deals in this day and age are a significant source of an influencer's income, okay? And somehow I know it always works out. I can go like 4 months without a single deal, and then I'll get like 3, and they'll be like double the money that the average person makes in a month, or family even. But then I have to make that last. And then you don't receive that money for 3-4 months. Like, it's bonkers out here. So then let's say you get some brand deals, you do all this work for, let's say 10K, right? That's a lot of money. So let's say you do all this work for $10,000. It's been 4 months of not being paid. Now it's going to be another 60 days before you, until 60 days after you complete the content, approve the content, all that stuff. So that's probably another month, right? And then you have to wait another 60 days to actually receive the money. And that's assuming the brand pays you on time. So if there is anything that is not fun about this job, it is the way money is and the inconsistency of receiving money, because people do jobs and they expect to be paid, right? So it sucks that there is that kind of inconsistency. And I understand that's maybe a lot of entrepreneurs' reality, or a lot of self-employed people's reality. But it sucks. All right, it sucks. And one of the hardest things about that for me is that, again, in this space, I have mutuals. I have people that I've met over time, and I'll see them living these lives, right? And again, we're talking about social media and how it can contribute to really lowering our confidence. So what I've been going through is, like, I was seeing all these people, they're living these lives, doing these things, and truthfully, I'm like, I cannot do any of this. I'm lucky enough that I have a partner who works a very traditional role. So as a family, as a unit, we have money coming in monthly, but that only covers necessities, if I'm being really honest. And so this week I've just been really lacking confidence with my financial situation, and just feeling like I am not doing a good job at succeeding at life at 29 years old. This is a big thing for me, but I actually, like, I went to my dad about it. Not because I expect my dad to save me from the issue, because that's not my dad. My dad is hard knocks, minimum help, you figure that shit out. Dad. He just kept kind of like reiterating. He was like, I went through this. Everyone goes through this. You are not alone. You are in a better position than a lot of other people. You're like, this is just part of adulthood and whatever. And I get it. And I think, that's partially helpful, because sometimes when we're going through something really hard, we can feel like we're the only ones going through it. And sometimes it's nice to just know that, like, you are not the only one having this specific experience. We're all kind of struggling. And I know financially we're all going through it in our own ways. And I think that is why I find that having a community that really relates to all these things is really helpful. And I say that because, again, I launched my Community and Confidence Patreon. I DM you guys all the time. Like, you guys are so transparent with me on what you're going through and, like, when you want to talk about something. And so that's why I launched the Patreon, because it gives us, like, one central location to all lean on each other. And that, I think, can be a confidence boost. Normalizing the experience, feeling like, yeah, these people aren't going to be giving each other money to help each other out, but having just like someone you can vent to is like so helpful. With that, when it comes to me being confident, I think it really is just a matter of, like, one, understanding that, like, this experience so many of us are going through. Two, understanding that we live in a capitalist country. Like, we are always going to be marketed products pushed products, and we have to really work on being happy with what we have and what we have in our hearts, because our society has been designed to feel like we should always be dreaming of having more, wanting more, never feeling like we have enough, always needing to hustle and hustle just to buy more stuff. And a lot of my time this past year has been reflecting on how I can live more minimally. And sure, having weird finances helps, right? When you can't really afford things, it kind of helps. But more than that is just like, I don't want anyone to feel like they have power over me. And a big thing is like, I'm just realizing that we are being marketed and we are being pushed to want to be better, be skinnier, be taller, have nice, all these brand name things, have all this makeup and stuff. And we can be very fulfilled and happy living minimally, because at the end of the day, the things that make you confident are the people that surround you, the quality of the relationships you have, and just like that support system. So that's kind of like where I'm really starting to center myself and find my confidence, is in the quality and the value of the work that I'm doing, connecting with you guys, sharing my mind, like my mindset and how I'm thinking with you guys, normalizing this experience to you guys, and also realizing that like I don't have to look at someone's page online, right? Because social media is a great thing, but it's also a horrible thing. So I don't have to go and watch someone's content just because I met them once and their content is all to make me feel bad, because all they're doing is trying to sell me products, push me products, making me feel like I'm not wealthy enough, like I'm not doing enough, like I don't have a big enough family or enough friends and whatever. Like anything that doesn't make you feel good, don't do it. That is pretty much what it is. That is the key to confidence. If it doesn't make you feel good, don't do it. Find people that you can relate to. Find a community of people. I will link my Patreon down below. If you want to join it, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. But it's free to get access to the chat. And I feel like if I could just compile all these amazing women and we can just yap and just vent and just support, like, wow. Like that is something on the internet that we really are lacking and we really could use. And yeah, that's it. I hope this video, like, I hope it helped normalize what you're going through. I hope it helped you see that like everyone is going through something in their own way. And I hope that if anything, if you need someone to lean on, need someone to talk to, you just hit the link, you join the Patreon for free, and you just have that access. Like, so there's a paid option too, and I'm offering great things for the paid option, but I also know that like I'm here talking about money, and if you don't have it, you don't have it, and that's okay. But one thing I am offering is access to the community for free, and I think that that is important, because right now so many of us are feeling alone, so many of us are feeling unsupported, and so many of us are feeling like we are not enough, and we are enough. We are enough, we have empathy for others, and we are all just souls in a body just learning how to get through life, and we are figuring it out together. Rant over. I love you guys so much. I'm going to get sappy talking about this, but having these platforms has literally changed my life. It's given me a purpose that I've never had before, and I am so grateful you stuck around for this video. I am so grateful that you are on my other channels. I am so grateful if you join the Patreon. Like, I am so filled with gratitude for each and every one of you. You have no idea. Sometimes I get freaked out thinking about the amount of people that follow me on the internet, because when you visualize it, it's a lot of people. But the fact that I have been able to in some way touch each of your lives, even just for 5 seconds of a reel or a short or whatever, is the craziest, most amazing thing in the world. And I'm just so grateful. And I will have another video for you guys in a couple weeks. The next one will probably be more lighthearted, just a little vlog. We can hang out. But if you are ever wanting to request that I touch on a topic or talk on a topic, feel free to leave a comment down below. Feel free to leave your thoughts on what I was saying below. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out. And I will see you guys next video. I love you all so much. I'm done rambling. All right, bye.